Stop. How does this make you feel? Tense? Excited? What do you think is happening? Well, imagine you are trapped on a small beach in northern France with the entire German army closing in on you on 3 sides. That's exactly what's happening here. Christopher Nolan is an expert in telling stories without dialogue. Most other movies rely totally on dialogue or narration to further the plot, but here, no. The focus is not on the character's verbal expression, but is instead on the character's actions. It's what they do in the story, not necessarily what they say. Throughout the film, there's always a clock ticking. Something's always measuring time. As you watch it, you feel like you and the characters are in a race against the clock. But there's more than just the literal clock. There are other things that convey the exact same idea. Mainly that of the screeching dissonant violins, and the high and low pulsating drones that pervade the film. And give it an aura of constant pressure. It feels like you're just waiting for it to explode and hoping that eventually the tension will be gone. The entire film is constant suspense, really. And honestly, I think there are some who couldn't watch it because of all the stress baked into it. But there's more to a film than just audio, isn't there? The first visual motif is loneliness. It's a recurring theme throughout and is demonstrated in more ways than one. Despite the fact that it's a war film, and there are so many people everywhere all the time, there's still an extreme sense of loneliness. Each and every character seems isolated from the rest. Like no one actually belongs anywhere. They're just disconnected from everyone and exist in their own world. The non-central characters are just fillers, really. To make it seem more believable. It's only really toward the end of the movie where you finally see a sort of unity, even remotely. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of separate characters that are by themselves fighting against the clock and fighting for their lives. Each of them deals with the exact same situation in different ways. Different expressions, different roles in different contexts. One in the air, one on land, and one at sea. However, what is great about this film is that eventually all of these different characters unite, not knowing what any of the others have gone through. They each did their part and arrived at the same place at the same time. It makes it feel like just a matter of coincidence, but really, it was a miraculous work from the screenwriter. Seeing everything fit together so perfectly in the end is so fantastic and surreal. A race against time and a multitude of lonely characters in a very public setting is Dunkirk, in a sentence. This film is honestly one of the best of all time, at least in my book, and it definitely deserves its runner-up status for Best Picture at the Oscars. With that loneliness finally cured at the very end, it makes way for a great opportunity for a heart-rending ending. After Dunkirk had been evacuated, the Prime Minister of Britain, Winston Churchill, on June 4th of 1940, gave a patriotic speech that still gives me the shivers every time I hear it. I'll let it play for you.
Our thankfulness at the escape of our army must not blind us to the fact that what has happened in France and Belgium is a colossal military disaster. We must expect another blow to be struck almost immediately. We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island whatever the cost may be.
What?
We shall defend our island whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. And even if this island or a large part of it was subjugated and starving, then our empire beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British fleet, would carry on the struggle until, in God's good time, the new world with all its power and might steps forth to the rescue and the liberation of the old.